vocal version of Jill's theme, which
Mhm.
I don't know when it plays, but it's so pretty that I
Definitely
had to
don't.
start
If
trans.
it's the one I'm thinking of, definitely don't look up a video of that one.
Okay, because well, what happened was that I thought because I saw the thumbnail of Jill,
Yeah.
and then I clicked on it very quickly, and then I saw the beginnings of a cutscene, and I scrolled down really
Okay,
fast.
good.
So I was like, okay, just listen to the song,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a gorgeous, dark and sultry vocal
Yeah.
version of Jill's theme. It sounds so sad, and I tried not to listen to the lyrics. But I was like, well, it sounds kind of abstract for now. So okay, so you told me you're all
I'm
that's
pretty
your
sure I
advice.
know which one it is, and if it's the one I'm thinking of, definitely don't watch a video.
Okay, and should I not listen to the whole thing?
Ooh, so I'm one of those people. I'm very
Okay.
bad at like hearing and remembering lyrics, so I'm not sure. I'd have to listen to it again to
There's
see
like
if.
there's something there's something about a star.
Don't listen to it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Don't listen to it.
All right, duly noted. I've been warned twice.
Yeah.
Do not.
That's the only word you had to say.
Um,
I
so,
remember
yeah.
seeing your blooper of you trying to get the fall down to your knees or whatever. That was that song, right? That you did that
Yes,
little
yeah.
bit. And
Mhm.
I just was watching those the other day, and I just like laughed at like, yeah, that would be so annoying to like get the timing right and everything.
Yeah, having the floodlights like turn red as soon as my knees hit the ground.
And I saw you
oh
trying to
my
like hide the little button like when you dropped or whatever.
the remote.
Yeah.
What was it? I think it was this remote.
The
I
little
was trying to
clicker,
hide.
yeah. That's pretty funny. What when you're looking at like, two different cosplays that you want to do or have done, what makes one of those more challenging than the other that someone like me who has no experience in cosplay
Oh.
wouldn't know
Probably,
or wouldn't expect?
probably like detail.
Okay.
So I don't know how to answer this. That's a really cool. That's actually a really good question, and I'm just trying to think of like how to approach it. 'Cause there's
Sure.
there's kind of different angles to look at it. And
Well, detail's a good point because, like, to me, it doesn't like my brain wouldn't see that as being that hard. Oh, that's just finishing touches or something. But I'm sure it's way harder than that because I don't know, right? I don't have that skill
like
set.
getting materials as well. Like for me, the biggest like hurdle is like getting started, and like,
Okay.
I think a lot of like crafters kind of like that's like the first bit because like once you get started and you're like on I don't know if like maybe code like I hear this a lot with like developers and coding and stuff where it's like you just get in the zone and like,
Yeah, you get the momentum.
for hours. But then like you can hit a roadblock of either you run out of a material or you built it and then it just didn't work the way you thought it would, and then you have to completely rethink your plans and things
Right.
like, and then you hit these roadblocks, and like that's for me that's the hard part is like,
Okay.
like hurdling that. And
Sort of on the topic of Final Fantasy 13's music. I know you said before that the FF13 battle theme was among one of your favorite Final Fantasy battle tracks. So is that still the case? And if so, or if not, like what does it do differently that stands out for you? I know you've sort of talked about its more sort of jazz style approach, but if you could elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think Saber's Edge definitely has a bit of an improvisatory thing about it. You know what I really like about Hamauzu and Final Fantasy 13's music on the whole is the fact that it's very large. It's very like it reminds me a little bit of Rachmaninoff in the sense that Rachmaninoff, like they used to call, I think, or no, was it Liszt? One of the two. You had to have octopus fingers in order to hit all the notes, and it was like
sure.
purposely difficult because of how wide. This is Rachmaninoff. There's even jokes about it. How expansive the way that he would play the piano and the way that he would write for the piano. And Hamauzu's music in Final Fantasy 13 has this sort of grandiosity and this sort of width about it that is really, really satisfying. And what I
know
really
that
right back to the booth and practicing. Yeah.
Like actually, you could do more.
Sure. So what's the worst actual one that's happened? Or has there been, a really bad one?
I think because of that, I'm usually really prepared.
Oh, okay.
Because I live it out in my dreams, and I
Sure,
don't want to live it out.
you don't want to do it in real life.
Yeah, I get scared enough by my subconscious. But I mean, there's always times where in recent memory this hasn't happened, but like when I was in university and I'm singing recitals in different languages. When you sing classically, you sing in Italian, French, and German, and English and Latin and Russian. I don't know, there's a lot of other ones, but those three, usually 4 with English. 5 with Latin. Yeah, it's really those 5.
Sure.
Yeah, but you're memorizing a lot of different languages that you don't speak
like
fluently.
phonetically.
Yeah,
basically,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, IPA is more than just a beer. It stands for International Phonetic Alphabet. And I know that very well. And that's how I'm able to sing in other languages.
And then the next day was like 3 or 4 hours. And I think it was by the end of that second session that I actually could live for more than a second in phase 2, just to start learning, like, you know, and you learn she does a lot of similar moves, but with a little extra flourish to it, or an extra explosion, or
they're just a little bit scarier than how much scarier they were to start with.
Yeah.
Her waterfall dance, the move where she's just spinning around like crazy, was like scared me so much the first time. And then in phase 2, like I'm pretty sure every time she did that attack, I'd just be like screaming and running, like trying to figure out how I could possibly live through it.
Next pairing I have is, now I know we won't get to do this one, but I'm still throwing it out there. Barrett and Vincent.
Oh, Barrett and Vincent.
Yeah.
They both just kind of need to unload all of their guns. Like Barrett needs to just like go crazy. Vincent needs to like pull out multiple different guns, like his like shotgun too and all that stuff. They just, I'm thinking of like just like heavy arms from Gundam Wing, just like shooting out a million things, like a wall of bullets. I need to see both of them do that.
Okay, we'll do a little creative exercise here. If assume you were given full creative control, what would be some elements for a dream Zelda game that you would produce? Whether it's a genre change, composer you'd want to have do the music, voice talent you'd want to have for specific characters, or like if the setting would be wildly different, you know, and just give me a couple elements that you think would end up being a part of that final piece.
Oh, that is such an interesting question. You know, you sent me these questions and I thought about these questions, but this is probably the hardest one I have to answer because I'm a creative person, but I'm not a creative person. I'm a really good like copycat, and I consider myself kind of creative sometimes, but like, man, to come up with like a video game whole idea.
And it could just be like things you like from other games that, oh man, I wish Zelda would do that sometime, or stuff like that. I really love
the idea of the Twilight. I was really hoping the Twilight would come back. I love the little squares that come together to create like when the I mean, when you're running around in Twilight, the little squares are
they're
kind of
just like
anyway.
Drifting.
They're just kind of everywhere, but I also really love like the portals that go above the in the
like
sky.
Where the enemies spawn or whatever.
Yep,
and
those freaking things with the mask faces or whatever. So I really loved Twilight, and there were rumors that they were going to bring the Twilight back in Tears of the Kingdom, and I shouldn't have believed them because they're just rumors. But I was like, that would be so cool. I would love another game in like the Twilight kind of ish. I mean, I know technically the Mirror of Twilight is broken and whatever, but it would be really cool to revisit the Twilight. I thought that was a really cool idea.
So in your book, you talk about the importance of hitting that go live button for the first time. Why do you think that is such a psychological barrier for people starting out with either streaming or mostly for streaming?
Yeah, I mean, it's whether it's to go live or click the upload, you know what I mean?
Sure,
it's sort of the same. It's sort of the same thing. And that is because we oftentimes as entertainers get in our own heads. You know, is my audio good enough? Is the video quality good enough? I don't like the sound of my voice. Like you know, how do I? And it becomes this this mental game. Like some people are just better at throwing themselves out there than others, and some people need to kind of kind of get their foot wet. You know, some people jump in the pool or in the ocean, and then other people, you know, just kind of put a toe in and be like, oh, it's cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, you gotta like splash somebody to like force them to get in type thing.